will certify that the meeting was properly posted. I will read the duly elected new board members and existing: Paul Mollard, Bill Pinardi, Jamie Francis, Barry Young, Bill Stutz, Roy Hager, Brandon Snyder, Jeffrey Nevela, Patrick Hansen, Stephen Finko, David McNutt, Karen Lauer, Roxanne Luchin, Hannah Hiller, and Gary Kessler. Now we will administer the oath. So you'll have to stand and raise your right hands. I state your names. Having been elected to the office of county board, but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Yes, you can sign. And then I will leave those back. Okay, roll call. Mullard.
Here.
Bernardi.
Here.
Francis.
Here.
Youngs.
Here.
Stutz.
Here.
Hager. Snyder.
Here.
Nevela.
Here.
Hansen.
Here.
Finko.
Here.
McNutt.
Here.
Lauer.
Here.
Luchin.
Here.
Hiller.
Here.
Kessler.
Here.
Now we'll go on to the election of board chair. Do we have any nominations?
Yes, I nominate Larry Young.
All support.
Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I'll make a motion to close nominations and cast a unanimous ballot for Larry Young for chair.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Ready? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Your
you.
way.
Thank you all. It'll be an honor and a privilege to serve as your board chair. Just to let you know that just because I'm the board chair, we all have one goal. Each of us has the board of no better. And we're sitting on you. That's all you did is give me the keys. And I make sure that everybody knows what we're doing. Make sure all the board members know that you're informed on what we're voting on. Talk about it and make sure we're all voting on it. I ask you to listen to your department heads. They're good, treat them with dignity and respect, and they will also treat you with dignity and respect as well. With that, I guess I'll call for the election of the vice chair.
I nominate Jamie Francis.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? Is there any other nominations? Is there any other nominations?
I make a motion to call for the closing of the election of the board vice chair.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations, Jamie. You will work well together. And then the election of the highway committee is next, and for your new board members, the election of the highway committee is done in this room. It is chosen by your peers. It's a 5-person board. Highway of all the committees in, here, highways run like a business. Basically run like a business. Casey needs help, but if you know stuff about equipment, you know stuff about all that, right, Casey? So with that, and another thing too, there's no first chair, second chair in here. We pick 5, and when they meet, they decide who's gonna be the chair and the vice chair. So with that,
I do have agendas. Our first meeting is Thursday, and I have agendas. We didn't have emails and that, so if you're on the committee, I'll give you an agenda for our Thursday meeting at 4.
the reason for that is to open up blacktop bids and stuff like that, we gotta get them. So with that, I call for a nomination for the highway committee. Any other nominations? Any other?
I nominate, are we doing one at a time?
Yeah, we're one at a time. Right? That's what we do, Chris. Any other nominations? There is none. Is that word we have, that sentence?
I'll make a motion to close the nominations for person 1 of the highway committee.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Okay. No, I need another one.
I'll nominate Pat.
That answer. Any other nominations? Any others? Any others?
make a motion to close the nominations for person 2 of the highway committee. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now you need another one.
I'll nominate Dave McNutt.
Any other nomination? Any others? Any others?
Move the both nominations.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Dave, okay, one more. Two more.
Make a motion to nominate, Mr. Finkel.
Are there any other nominations? Any others? Any other nominations?
I move the nominations be closed and the unanimous ballot be cast for Steve Finkel for position number 4 in the highway committee.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Another one?
I'll nominate Mr. Neville.
Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
Make a motion to close nominations and cast the vote for Mr. Neville.
You got it. Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Go fast.
You're right.
Okay, that's 5. Okay, the next one is also not in this room. It's going on by your peers is UW Extension A. We have 5 members on that one. That one you deal with UW Extension. Becky, tell them what those like be doing a little bit. Highlight.
Our office manages the youth programming in the community through 4-H. Neil Penny is our educator. We have a community development educator, Joseph Miller. He's the liaison to the Iron County Economic Development Committee. And he also does programs within the community through his role. We also manage the Iron County Mobile Food Pantry Program, and we have a state specialist, Kathy Techman. She's housed in our office. She works with the Climate Institute through UW Extension. So a lot of fun programming within the community.
Okay, we need 5 now, 5 people for that board.
Make a motion for Roxanne Luchan to be on the extension committee.
Are there any other nominations? Any others? Any others? Somebody got a quote.
I'm going to close the nomination for Roxanne Luchan for extension board.
Second? Everybody Snyder. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next.
I'll nominate Mr. Kessler.
Is there any other nominations? Any others? Any others?
Make a motion to close nominations and cast the Vote for Mr.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Kessler. Okay, number 3.
I make a motion to nominate Mr. Snyder to be on the extension board.
Any other nominations? Any others? Any others?
I move the nominations be closed and unanimous ballot be cast for Brandon Slater for executive.
All in favor? Or need a second?
I'll second.
I can't second that motion.
Jamie seconded it. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, number 4.
Nominate Mr. Stutz.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I move to close the nominations and elect by unanimous vote. Thomas Stutz.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Stutz, you're on, and one more.
Motion for Mr. Francis to be nominated to be on the board of the DW Extension.
Is there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
Make a motion to close nominations and cast unanimous ballot.
Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Okay, number 11 is approve the minutes of the March 31st, 2026 as presented. And you get to take a look at it.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Motion by Lawler. Seconded by Mr. Muller. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Communications, do you have any, Kristen?
I just wanted to go through real quick. In front of you, you have packets. There's a welcome information letter, county board rules, procedures, the districts. There's employee phone numbers, names, open meeting laws, and then the county comes out with the official handbook, so that's there. So very back for the new board members, there's forms for you to fill out for payroll, for your per diems, and for the emails and so forth. So if you can fill those out and get back to me as soon as possible with those, that would be appreciated. That's all I have.
If we already have an email, we don't need to fill out.
You don't have to fill any of that stuff out. I just put it in. Unless you have something that's changed with your, anything that you're,
So those of us that are continuing do not need to fill out any of these papers in the back.
not unless there's something that you do not want put in on the website or given out.
There's nothing changed. So good. Thank you.
Okay, and then for you is, we all get an email address. If some of the old school ones so choose not to use it, you just ask Kristen and she'll get you paper. She will give paper. You don't want to email some. Some of us are a little computer illiterate. I mean, I'm probably one of them, but I know enough to get by.
The board and finance packets are usually done between Thursday and Friday before the meeting. So if you need to come in and get your packet ahead of time, they'll be in my office. Otherwise, they get emailed in the afternoon to your county.
The rest,
Assuming the meeting's staying on Tuesday.
Yes.
So if we could just say 4 days early, generally?
the rest of the committees, the chair appoints them. I'm gonna hand it out at the end of this meeting, which you're on. If you feel that maybe you could, I got you wrong, don't worry, you can help me get away, don't be hesitant to tell me, we'll switch it or we'll do something. But if you have a forte, try to get hold of most of you and ask you. If I miss something or something you're interested in, let me know. And Kristen found this out too, that 2 of the people that are on land and zoning supposed to have to be a UW extension, is that correct?
Representing the land and water and water.
Yeah. 2 of them from land and water have to be up to the phone. Yeah, we might have to fix that. Okay, I know it's a lot for you guys all to take in. Jay was gonna give a report, put let you guys get your feet underneath you. There's a lot of information to get. None of us know everything, but every one of us knows something that's gonna help this room. So that's the way we operate. So everybody here, none of us, somebody here knows something about something, and we just use you. We use you, squeeze you like a lemon. Okay,
I do have a written report that I'm gonna send to everybody.
he's gonna email it out, you can
Yeah.
read it after, and he'll tell you it's
It's,
just too much.
Yeah, well, yeah, I planned on, for a lot of you, what I'm working on, and the county's working on. I provided background in writing, so you can read through it and process it, whereas if I tried to go through
Squad. Okay, that's for the manager, that's on the key. Okay, we gotta adopt the Robert's Rule of Order. We have to make a motion in a second. We need a motion that we.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Paul Muller, second. Work by JB Francis, all in favor? Aye. Designation of official county depository. We have to make a bank, we do chip off, correct?
We have Chippewa, but we also are moving money to LGIP. Those two as our depository.
We have a meeting with LGIP on Thursday.
Where is that?
So that's the local government investment pool, so almost every county, along with other municipalities across the state, tend to pay a higher interest rate. Right now, we're at 3.86, I think was the last I saw, so they tend to pay a slightly higher interest rate than what we can get. It's also an opportunity for us to just
Spread our money around.
spread our money around.
Get too much money in one bank.
One of the other benefits of LGIP that a lot of counties talk about is you can hold multiple accounts, so you can have sub-accounts. So if highway has highway funds, we can put the highway funds in a highway fund specific account. It earns its own specific interest. It's easy to track. Money moves automatically, wire, ACH.
It's also important, if I could add something, for collateralization when it comes to the audit. Having this money with multiple institutions satisfies more collateralization requirements.
That's true too. In fact, I talked about that with the auditors today and they said it's a good plan to move to LGIP.
I think Chippewa did really good service for us in the past, and I don't know why we would take away business from a place that pays taxes for us. You know, why would, that's my feeling, so it's up to you guys.
I make a motion that we designate Chippewa Valley Bank as our day-to-day bank and LGIP as our investments.
I will support that.
We had a motion by Roxanne, and was supported by Joe Bernardi. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And just to let you know, too, the auditors are in that room down there. We're all down there looking at our books, cooking the book. Okay, they're gonna be here they were here yesterday, today, they're gonna be here tomorrow, and then they're leaving, which is a good thing, she's here longer than that. So we're going in the right direction. Designation of official county newspaper.
Motion to nominate Allen County Miner as our official county newspaper.
Motion by Karen Lawler, I need a second.
Second.
Second by Roxanne for Diane County Meyer, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Designate corporate counsel. Sorry. Designate the day and time for the county board meeting. It's usually it's the third last Tuesday of the month. 6 o'clock. Is everybody go with that? Everybody go with that?
5:30?
Somebody gotta make a motion, right? Motion by Jamie. Second? Yep. Motion by, Joe Bernardi, all in favor? Aye. Aye, opposed? No, designate corporate counsel. This is what we did. We went with Doug Musket. Now Doug went back to his original human services, child support role he played in Iron County. We went with Moorbacher for more of the ordinances and stuff like that, because Bayfield and Ashland. So he's more in, help me here. Give me the word.
He has more experience.
Yeah.
He's got the experience and he's actually been a little bit more,
Okay, so that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna split it. Doug's going back. So I need a motion for that, if I could, please.
Make a motion that we have, his name,
Alex,
Alex Morbacher with Clark and Clark as for
Doug must hit his.
Doug for
DHS.
DHS.
A motion by Roxanne,
All support.
seconded by Brandon Snyder, all in favor.
Aye.
Committee department heads, the chairman report, any committees meet. We haven't been meeting since after the election. Anybody have, other than the Memorial Day?
Actually, I have a little bit of something. The Board of Health did meet. We had a hearing, the request of the owner of the Silver Street Motel, the Zoom meeting, to accommodate the owner. He lives in Florida. The owner requested a hearing to appeal, he wanted to overturn the temporary closure of the motel due to multiple health and safety violations. There's a history of temporary closures since last summer. There's no water, sewer, missing screens, missing locks, or there's all kinds of issues that have been going on for a long period of time. And the defendant did not join the hearing. He didn't join us. After discussion by the Board of Health, we revoked the license to operate the Silver Street Motel. The owner would need to obtain a new license and inspection, be in compliance with regulations.
That license issued through the city of Burlington.
We have a sanitary license, and we revoked
Sanitary
that.
permit, follows it, yeah.
And there's the meeting, we had actually revoked the license.
Anybody else? Did anybody else meet?
We had a Memorial Building meeting. Things are going smooth. We got events coming up and we actually got somebody interested in running the bowling alley. So we're not for sure yet, but they did approach me. Karen's been there the last year.
The kids are almost done with the wheels on the cannon.
Oh, and
We're gonna try to get the cannon put together by Memorial Day.
The cannon wheels, one of the cannon wheels is done, got picked up this morning.
Yeah.
The other one, they're working weekends even to get the second one done.
Looks really nice. We're possibly thinking about firing each.
We have to pay time and a half for the
we'll point it
We'll go Paul, I'll think about that.
That's,
The students are doing a fantastic job.
They are, they really did it, and they really helped us out.
They're having a fun time with it.
Okay, number 20, is there any public comment? Anybody got anything to say?
Right. I wanted to everyone, we had an airport meeting,
Okay, Pat.
and right now the big thing on the agenda is the hangar for the jet. There is one out for sale, a steel building. We're in the process of trying to get
Okay, Pat, thank you. Anybody else have any public comment? Anything I have to say is this, when we meet once a month, come together and make sure whatever decisions you're making, make it for the whole county. Gotta represent people in your district, you're also representing yourself county. It's gotta be good for all of us. I think it's good that we ask people when we're wise, it's some older ones, and maybe have a different way of doing it than we think. I'm all for it. You guys have a better idea than what we got going, bring it to our attention. Okay, 21 is discuss, accept Iron County Land and Water Conservation Annual Report. Heather's gonna give us a real thing. Heather starts us off and sets the goal.
All right, so I'm just gonna quickly go through our 2025 annual report.
yeah. It's right halfway through.
No, that's all right. Not letting us see.
I've got copies.
Always pleasure, They're asking, okay. Well,
They find you that was your fault.
You should know that.
Lori's back, I've never done it. Yeah, we're gonna be very important.
Explain later, Angel.
Ask for forgiveness.
I'll be sitting right there, you can't look like that. Speed, you can't go speeding on the highway, now it knows.
Okay, so my name is Heather Palmquist. I'm the county conservationist or department head for the Land and Water Conservation Department. Been at the department for, I think, about 18 years. And we have a pretty small department, but I just passed around our annual report for 2025. This kind of gives a good overview of what we accomplished in 2025, talks about finances, kind of just our basic accomplishments throughout the year. I'm not going to go through all of that with you. I'm going to do a very brief introduction for those of you who are not on our committee, and then those of you who are new to the board. Because we're kind of not as well of a known department necessarily, like the health department or the highway department, that are pretty self-explanatory. Oops. Okay, so staff and programming, basically, we have 2 full-time people in the department. Myself, as the department head, I handle administration, all the grant writing, budget, financing, plan writing, supervising all the staff and programs. I also operate as our technician. So a lot of county departments, land and water conservation departments, have an administrator, but then they also have a technician, and then they might have several other staff as well. So I handle all of our cost share projects through the department. So we work with farmers, we work with municipalities on culvert replacements, and we also work a lot on shoreline projects. And I'll go through some of those projects in a little bit more detail. But basically, we can help. We get a pot of money from the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection to implement these projects with throughout the county. And then we also have a native plant sale that I manage as well. We have a conservation specialist is the second position in our department that's full-time, and they are responsible for a lot of education and outreach, not only to adults, but also to the youth in the county. They also handle our invasive species program, both terrestrial and aquatic invasive species, and they coordinate our summer staff. And then they also work hand in hand with our water quality volunteers, conducting surface water quality on our lakes and streams. And they handle, like I said, our LT staff. We hire anywhere from 2 to 4 limited term employees for the summer months to help with that invasive species program. So one thing that I think our department stands out a lot is we are largely grant funded, okay? So the biggest contributor to our department is the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection, or DAPCAP. So they fund 100% of the first position, or my position in the county, including the benefit package. So 100% of my cost to the county is paid for. And then they come up with 70% of the conservation specialist position funding as well. And again, that includes the benefit package as well. And then statutorily, they don't necessarily get here every year, depending on the state budget, but then they statutorily are supposed to hit 50% of a third position for the county. And then they also give us the cost share funding that we get to implement annually with landowners. We also,
Can I interrupt and ask you a question? So
Yeah.
is that third position, when we get the money, enough to cover our summer helpers, or what does it cover?
that would be if we had a full-time position.
It has to be full-time, it can't cover our summer.
No, and historically, since I've been around, we haven't had enough money in the state budget to make it to this 50% position. Mm-hmm. But good question. Yes, and I think you could then maybe do 50%. You'd get a percentage of that because it wouldn't be a full-time position. But yes, you could get some funding. We also get a lot of funding from the DNR. So we handle the wildlife damage program. That's for farmers who are experiencing crop damage. And we contract that, we basically act as the liaison where we contract that position out through USDA and APHIS. And then we're reimbursed through the DNR for all of those contracted costs. And then we also get annual funding for our LTE staff. So that is 100% paid for by a DNR grant and an additional grant. And we constantly are getting other grants for big projects that come up as need be. And then we have a very low percent of our budget, which we'll go through, that actually the county levy contributes. So here's kind of a breakdown of 2025, where all of that money came from. You can see on the bottom right there that our total budget was $254,000. So here you can see half of that is coming from, that whole operating budget is coming from DATCAP for the staff support. We've got cost share coming in at 14%, the wildlife damage program at 13%. The county levy is here at 9%. So it's a very, very small portion of tax dollars, of county tax dollars that are going towards our department. So a little bit about that cost share program. So we have a rule called ATCP 50, and that outlines a bunch of different practices that we can help landowners with for soil and water quality health. So I do work with a lot with municipalities on culvert replacements. I can't just replace a culvert for a township or a county because their culvert is failing. There has to be a natural resource concern. So everything that we're doing with our cost share dollars has to meet criteria set out in that ATCAP 50, and it has to have a soil or a water quality concern associated with the project for us to be able to put our state dollars on that. So through that program, I go out and I do project surveys, do the actual design, often with help from a state engineer, and go through all the permitting process. And then we're able to fund up to 50% or up to 70%, depending on the project. And that's all dictated through that ATCP 50. So the main projects that we can do are agriculture practices, stream crossings, and different shoreline protection. So here's a couple of an example of a farm project that we had done in the town of Saxon. Some of our stream crossing projects. So this is an issue that we might have and show up to. This was actually with the town of Anderson. And you can see in this case, the road is washing out, depositing a bunch of gravel into the stream and wetland adjacent. Shoreline protection. So here we're having a bunch of erosion that would be causing sedimentation into, in this case, a lake. And so we can design something to mitigate that shoreline and erosion and protect it. Now, kind of that other part of our department, we do a ton of work with invasive species. So both terrestrial and aquatics. So you can see here, this was a day with along the Montreal River up here in Hurley, where we have Hurley 6th graders that come out and pull a bunch of garlic mustard. Every year we've been doing that partnership for probably about 18 years. And some of our invasive species, this is called wild parsnip, and that has a health concern. So if you get into that and you're in the sunlight, the juices of the plant can cause a severe rash, far worse than poison ivy, as our highway worker found out. And then we have the aquatic side where we do some management with aquatic invasive species as well. There's a picture of us working on some curly leaf pondweed down in the town of Mercer. And here is a dioflowage spiny water flea that we had sampled and we're doing some data collection with. Water quality, so again, we monitor and actively work with volunteers on over 37 lakes across the county. This year, just last week, I was at the Wisconsin Lakes Convention, and one of our water quality volunteers got a state recognition, which is a very, very competitive award, and he was awarded for all of his service for Wisconsin lakes, specifically his work on Spider Lake in Mercer. And we do a ton of, like I said, a ton of outreach and education. So both to adults, you can see here, we did a pontoon cruise so that people can kind of understand some of their lake ecology, and brought folks out to that lake to look at some of their concerns from DNR. Here we did conservation on tap a few years back, just educating the public on different natural resource things, and we do a lot of education and outreach in the schools. We did a loon project, and then we're talking about watersheds and healthy watersheds. And then we run our conservation camp for high school students. So if anybody ever has questions, our door is always open. Our office is in the Forestry and Highway Building down on 3rd Avenue. And so come and talk to us and figure out what we're doing. Thank you.
The person on the right, is that?
Yes, this is our new, Molly has been on the job for about 4 weeks. She's doing an excellent job. She has a double master's coming from out of Ann Arbor, but she's a Wisconsinite, so she's lucky, or she's really excited to be up here in northern Wisconsin.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for the time.
You know, Heather won an award last summer. She was one of the best in the state for what she does.
Conservationist of the Year.
She was the Conservationist of the Year. That was nice. So we have some of the finest people working for us. Okay. I think that covers everything. I'm going to hand over to the committees I put you on at the end of this. Let's go to work doing the business for the county. Call's meeting adjourned. Yeah, sorry.
I'll make a motion to accept the
Sorry.
conservationist report.
Second,
I'll second.
second by Ken, we're all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now the meeting is adjourned.
If you are new to the board, would you please meet me outside so that I can take your picture?
There you go, Gary.
Thursday, 16th.
Not this time, Russ.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch. No, they're usually not that quick.
That's
Hey, Gary, get your picture. Thank you.
I'll call you, Gary. I have your number.
Okay, do that.
I got his number. Right here.
How are you?
Gary, you're back in the Oh, Steve. Same here. So, yeah. So close. Yeah,
Yeah, we always-